What's happening, guys? Today I want to take a little bit of time to kind of get a couple things off my chest. I want to go over some things that really bother me and annoy me about the EDC knife community at large. Let's get right into it. Number one, it really annoys me when you hear people say, use your shit. Typically it's you see it with knife YouTubers, Instagrammers, whatever, knife influencers. They say use your shit, and what they mean is I know better than you about what you should do with your own property, and if you don't actually use a knife and get it dirty and need to sharpen it a lot and go out in the woods and chop things with it, then you're kind of a bitch. That's really what they're saying. And it just annoys the crap out of me. I hate it so much. Don't tell the people what to do with things that they've bought with their own money. And why do you care? And it's demeaning. It's demeaning and insulting, and just don't tell me what to do. Next, there's a trend happening recently with a lot of new designs where it's kind of fidget over function. What I mean is sometimes the fidget factor is kind of prioritized over making a good functional knife that cuts well. And a little bit of that's fine. I love fidgeting with knives. I do it 24/7 pretty much. But the knife has to also be a good knife and cut really well and have a solid lockup and all that other good stuff too. If a knife is fidgety after those things, then awesome, hell yeah. But if a knife is fidgety but doesn't have solid lockup, or doesn't cut well, or just doesn't operate well, or feel good in the hand, or anything, those things, then it's garbage. And that's my opinion. Next, I get this a lot being a knife reviewer. Some of you guys might not relate, but a lot of times I get a knife in the mail that's being passed around through, to different reviewers to feature on their channels. Maybe it's a new release coming out that the maker wants to get more eyes on or something like that. And it gets passed around, and, it's a good way to kind of check out new knives without having to buy them. But it annoys me to no end when I get one of these knives in the mail that's been passed around. I'm filming the unboxing usually. I open the knife, I flip it open for the first time, and the blade's dirty. It's got all kinds of fingerprints and gunk and oil on it, and I have to wipe it off before I show it. It drives me insane. If you're sending a knife to somebody, spend 5 seconds and wipe it off and make it look nice for them. Why would you send them a dirty blade? That's so annoying. Please, if you're sending a knife to somebody, if you sold it to them, if you traded it to them, whatever it was, clean it off. Wipe it down. Make it look nice for them, please. Next. Got a hair. Didn't get it. There, I got it. Next. I am becoming annoyed with these large knife manufacturers just pumping out designs. Knife after knife after knife, just vomiting them out, hoping they get a good one, hoping that one of them sticks and becomes really popular. It's a scattershot approach, and it's just not good for the knife market. They're flooding the market with these designs. Some are good, a lot of them are mediocre, some are just plain bad. But most of them are they're good knives, but there's nothing special about any of them. Not any of them. There's a few good ones. But I wish they would kind of reel back, put out less designs, and spend more time designing and refining and kind of just putting together something really amazing. Wouldn't that be so much better? Instead of having all these mediocre knives just being pumped out, just maybe do, I don't know, just less, and have them be more refined and better and more imaginative, creative, just something that kind of breaks the mold a little bit. I would love to see that. Next, bad clips and bad sharpening choils. This is something that annoys all of us. When you get a knife that you love the knife, it's perfect in every way, but the clip sucks. Maybe it's a hot spot, maybe it just looks ugly, maybe it doesn't even work right, it doesn't go in and out of your pocket easy. It completely ruins a knife for me. Sometimes you can replace it. There's a lot of, Lynch Northwest, MXG gear. There's a lot of places like that that make aftermarket clips, but there's some knives that don't have aftermarket clips, and if the clip sucks, you're stuck with it. You're screwed. It can really ruin a knife. Clips often feel, to me, like kind of an afterthought, that these manufacturers are kind of just slapping on a clip and, it's a clip. It'll work. But it's more important than that. It has to flow with the design. It has to be ergonomically good. It has to both be ergonomically good and go in and out of the pocket easy, which sometimes seems to be difficult for some of these designers. Bad sharpening choils. Sometimes that can be fixed as well. You can get a Dremel and do it yourself, as long as there's not a stop pin or something going on in there where taking away material would be a bad thing. Sometimes you can fix those. But man, sometimes it seems to me like these designers they know that there should be a cutout down there somewhere because they've seen it before on knives, but they're not sure what it's for, and so they just put a little cutout down in there somewhere, and they say, okay, there it is, there's the sharpening choil. And I don't know if they don't understand what it's supposed to be there for or what. It doesn't make sense to me why they would take the time to design in a sharpening choil but have it be a bad one. That doesn't compute to me. A lot of times all that needs to happen is it needs to get a little bigger or moved up a little bit. A lot of times it's just a really minor tweak and it'll be amazing, but they just don't do it. It's so weird and it bothers me. Next, unnecessarily thick geometry in knives. A lot of times I'll get a knife that I love everything about, but it's just thick. The blade's thick, the grind is thick. Overall, it just is way thicker than it needs to be in the blade. It doesn't slice as well as it could. And I'm not sure why that is. I'm not sure why that happens. I know that some knives need to have thicker blade stock and thicker grinds for strength. If it's a knife that is going to have a lot of forces put into it, that would be a reason you want thick geometry. But for the most part, there's a lot of knives that can slim down a little bit, and some a lot. And that's not something you can fix. Most people are not going to be able to go do a regrind in their garage. I can't. So, I would unnecessarily thick geometry always bothers me. It's like, oh man, this could be such a good slicer if they would have just slimmed down the grind a little bit, made it a smaller measurement behind the edge. It could have been so good. Two more. Next, Benchmade. Benchmade just annoys me all around. Everything about them. Their unbelievably high prices, their lack of willingness to listen to their consumers, to the knife community, their kind of blatant disregard for how a knife should be made and the price should match up to the build itself. It really seems like they're kind of almost stuck in their ways, like they just refuse to change things that should be changed. The Narrows, the Benchmade Narrows was kind of the start of it all, but it had been happening for a while. The prices have been creeping up. It's almost like they're ignoring the whole rest of the knife market and just saying, our knives we're the best, USA manufacturers. We know it's best, and you're going to pay what we tell you to because you're stupid. That's kind of almost what it feels like. So I won't go into depth, but Benchmade bothers me. And lastly, it bothers me, it annoys me when knife influencers push a product that they obviously don't actually use themselves. I see it happen sometimes where a knife influencer on YouTube or Instagram will be praising this knife or whatever it is, this object, and saying how amazing it is and how good it is, but then they never mention it again, or you just don't see pictures of them carrying it, or it doesn't come up in their live streams where they talk about what they've been carrying. It's just like they were talking it up just to try to sell it to you, and that's just that bothers me. I don't like that. It's just, it's not genuine, and once you get that feeling that someone's trying to sell you something, it's a huge turnoff to me. It's just as soon as I feel like someone's trying to take advantage of me and talk something up in order to get me to want to buy it, I'm done with you. I'm done. I won't watch any more of your stuff, because I know that I can't trust your opinion anymore. And that's what really it comes down to, is when you start doing that, you stop being a knife reviewer that people can trust, and you become a salesman. You become a knife salesman at that point. And I have made a promise to myself I will never, ever get to that point. And please, any of you, if you see me drifting that direction, or if you see anything that's questionable, like I might be doing something like that, please call me out on it. I will never do it. So please call me out if I ever do anything like that. I haven't so far, and I try very hard not to. So there you go. That's my list of things that annoy me about the knife community. For every one thing on this list, there's 50 things that I love about the knife EDC community. So this is just focused on the negative kind of stuff, but there are so many amazing things I love about knives and the knife community, the people that use and carry and collect knives. So maybe I'll do a video soon about things I love about it. But let me know what things annoy you about the knife world. I'm curious. Leave a comment. Let me know. I'm sure I missed some. So that's it. Like the video. Leave me a comment, like I said, and I will see you next time. Adios.